Well, hello, friends. Today we're going to do a little bit of window management again, because yesterday it got really kernel-y, and today I would like to have a little menu that pops up when I right-click on taskbar entries, because it would be nice if you could sort of get this little close, minimize, whatever type context menu that you can see here. That is typical. So let's just get right into it. We'll go in the taskbar window, which is where we have all these buttons. This is the taskbar window create button. This is the place where we create those buttons. So in order to have something happen when we right click on them, we are gonna need to subclass it, I think. Or wait, hold on. Actually, we might not have to, because I added this thing called a context menu event, right? So the context menu event is happens whenever. Oh God, how does this work? I think it's when you right-click on a widget. Yeah, so when you right-click on a widget, then first the widget gets a mouse down event, and then it gets a context menu event if it's a right button click. So we're going to hook this event, but we're going to have to subclass that button, and then we'll hook the context menu event. So taskbar window. So let's see. I guess we can create a new file for that actually. Okay, let's start with that. Taskbar button. Oh, not the most imaginative name, but who cares? Okay, and then update my creator files, and taskbar button is there. Okay, cool. Taskbar button. We'll make one of those. And we'll put this at the top actually, include taskbar button. And this one is gonna be a very simple subclass, at least to begin with. Make it final. G button. I guess just the regular stuff. But the important thing here is going to be virtual void. I mean, we needed the structure actually, but we need virtual void context menu event. This is where the fun stuff is going to be. Okay. Okay, let's just do the boilerplate. Parent G button parent. Yada yada yada. Okay, here we go. Now, what do we show here? I guess this button needs to have some idea of what window it represents so that it can actually do something. But for starters, let's just make a menu, and let's have it have a menu. So let's just call it a menu. I'm surprised that those things are defined even with just one include, but whatever. Okay, and I'm gonna make G menu and make G menu. I need to have a name for it, right? That's what I thought. But we're never gonna see the name, so it doesn't matter. I should make this not necessary, but not right now. Oh, it's probably just forward declared actually. G menu. And now we are going to need some actions. So let's just do some g-action create. G-action create. Let's say minimize. Well, let's just do this for starters. And close. Okay, and then in the context menu, what we're gonna do is menu pop up at event dot screen position. Is that what I want? It's not exactly what I want. I mean, let's see what this looks like, but I feel like we're gonna wanna customize the position a bit. What did I forget? Yada, 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 yada. Oh. I think these things get past the action. Yeah. Okay, so nothing's happening at all. Why not? Why? Context menu event in taskbar button. Am I not getting called? I am getting called. Oh, I guess we're showing the menu behind this thing probably. Well, it doesn't even really matter because what we're gonna do regardless. So yeah, so the thing is popping up, and the top left of the menu is wherever I'm clicking with the cursor, basically. So that's no good. We're gonna want it to show up like here, right? And another thing is that menus should be above the frickin' thing, above the frickin' taskbar. Why is that not happening? Let's look at the window manager Z order stuff. Let's see. Normal, menu, taskbar, tooltip. Menus should clearly be above the taskbar, and I would say even above the tooltip. And then we have to do the reversal. Front to back. Oh, this is all wrong. Window switcher should be up front. Unrelated fix happening here. Oopsie doopsie. Okay. Right. And of course, we need to do that. So how are we going to do this? First off, let's just see that we got the Z ordering fix. Yeah, now we can see the menu down here, but clearly this isn't what we want it to look like. Let's go ahead and do something about that. We want the bottom left of the thing to be the anchor point, I guess, and we don't really have a concept of anchor points. So let's just do something about that. So let's see. In the API, when you do a pop-up menu, we are sending this thing here, the position. So let's say we also include what do we include? Bottom anchored. Is that what we want to call it? Top anchored? I don't know what we want to call it. Let's just do it this way for now. I'll call it top anchored. And maybe I'll want to expand on that in the future. Who knows? Quest dot menu top anchored is true. Let's just do it like this at first. No, let's not do it that way at first. Let's actually use a boolean that we pass top anchored pop up. It's gonna have bool top anchored. It will be default true. And where do we handle this? In the server. Hold on, pop-up menu. Right. So we're gonna pass message.menu.top anchored as well to the constructor of this guy. And top anchored. I wonder if I'm gonna hate the name top anchored by the time I finish this. It is possible. So, you know, as you might have guessed, the opposite of top anchored is bottom anchored, and that's what I'm going to want to use for the taskbar. So it'll just be top anchored false. So let's say like that. I don't love this. I should have used an enum maybe, but this works for now. Top anchored. Okay. Now, where do we handle this? Here. Why am I blind? Why are there duplicate things? Pop up the menu request. Okay, here we are. So now we are in the Windows server and we have received this request, and here we go, menu.popup, message, oh no, hold on, request.top anchored, okay. And then in WS menu, the Windows server side menu object, in pop up, let's say bool top anchored, and WS menu here. Okay, top anchored. Okay, top anchored. Then we do the old thing, else. Window.move to position translated. No X translation, but minus window.height. Yep. Wait, didn't I change that? Oh, top anchored. Yeah. I think my Q creator has duplicate headers from another directory, and that's fucking me up a little bit. I needed that parenthesis. And libgui rebuild, incremental rebuild, always causing me trouble. but always easy to fix. One of these days I'm gonna have a better build system, but today is not that day. Okay, this is not working. I have to rebuild everything. Just when I was done telling you how I don't need to fix this right now. So I started thinking about, in the Windows Server stuff, I have this extremely lazy error handling where if you send it an invalid ID of some type, it will just send you back an error saying that oh, that was a bad ID. But I started thinking that maybe when you send something invalid to the Windows Server, it would actually take steps to disconnect you and try to clean up everything related to you, because if you send invalid stuff across the socket, then maybe the Windows Server should just assume that you are broken and stop trying to deal with you. Just an unrelated thought there. Okay, now we are popping upwards. Oh, interestingly, the thing goes away when I let go of the mouse. This makes me realize that menus should probably be automatically bottom anchored when there's not enough space below the cursor. I'm actually going to put that in my trusty to-do list that I have here somewhere. Okay, let's just write that down. G menu pop-up should probably, or should definitely anchor itself based on available screen real estate. Okay. But this is cool. And of course, now we're just passing in the mouse screen position, which is what we get from the event, but we can also figure out where exactly is this button on the screen and then put the menu there. So I think that might look a little nice. So let's try that. Let's call it position is, I guess it's window relative rect dot location, or no, is it screen relative? Of course it's screen relative rect location. Cool. We didn't even need a separate variable for that. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. Quite neat. That is very cool. Okay, so I guess before we get carried away trying to make it look just right, let's actually try to implement the functionality. For starters, we are going to want the taskbar button to know which window this corresponds to. So the way that works is that in the taskbar, which is separate from the window manager, the taskbar identifies other windows by two integers. It's their client ID and the window ID. And the client ID is the Windows Server number for each process that it talks to. It has a client ID. And then every client can have any number of windows that it likes. So those are the two IDs that together identify a window on screen. And if I recall correctly, in the taskbar class, I have something like a window identifier. Yeah, window identifier class. So I think that I'm just going to have one of those here, and let's move that to a separate file. Window identifier. Okay, and then we can include it from both places. Okay. Identifier. And why am I in the wrong place? Window list. I needed traits. And let's put in here window identifier. Okay. The traits, and is that it? Okay, Castillo. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, and then we'll add that here. And pass one to the constructor. Maybe by const reference. Identifier. Okay. Window list. In the window list, we can do, yeah, so we can get the window using the window identifier. But how the heck do we get to the window list? I guess we just make it easy for ourselves and do something like static window list the. Okay. We're gonna need a constructor actually for that to work, or no, we don't. We can just have this thing created. Window list. Window list. Static window list. If no, the list is new window list. Okay. Beautiful. And I guess maybe we actually did that somewhere. Yeah, so we should get rid of that. And wherever we are doing this, here, we instead do window list the, and window list. Static window list though. What's wrong with that? Redefinition of window list. My taskbar window. Oh, hold on. Taskbar button doesn't have pragma once. Okay, and neither does window identifier because I am silly. Okay. Taskbar button. Okay, here we go. Create button. Just gonna need a window identifier. Okay, and then who calls you? This guy. Aid create button. Wait, hold on. Aid create button. Return create button. Oh, okay. So then we just do auto identifier. Okay, and then this thing will take a const window. Yeah, and then we gotta pass it here. Identifier. Oh, that was a little convoluted. And still, I forgot something. Taskbar window create button. Why am I? Did I not add that here? Oh, yeah. It's always something, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Don't need that event parameter right now. So let's see if we can grab at that window now. Now that we've plumbed everything. Window list the dot window m identifier dot auto window. If no window, do nothing. Okay. Set minimized. Ooh, true, because this is the minimize action. Cool. Wait, does that actually work? No, this is not how it works. Do we even have a way to minimize a remote window, actually? So I think this thing can currently only activate windows. Yeah, that's all it can do. It can't minimize anything because we don't have any way of doing that. So let's do something like, well, what do we do for activating the window? When you click on one of these guys, click, no, where is that? Window list, click. So when you click on one of the buttons in the window list in the taskbar, then what we do is we send a message to the Windows server saying WM set active window. Okay, so we are going to have to do something similar to that, but we'll just send something else instead. We'll send something like let's just include the right stuff. Okay, then we'll send set window minimized message WM minimized true. Does that work? Okay. Okay. We're gonna need to add that thing. We need G event loop. Ooh, this is gonna be fine. Okay, so when we click the button, we are gonna send a client message saying like set window minimized, which is true, and we have to create that message, set window minimized. And here we add a boolean minimized. Okay, set window minimized is true. That's fine. Now we just have to actually have some handling of that. So let's just do what we do for set active window. Create a new Windows Server message type. Set window minimized request. Of course, it doesn't exist yet. We're just going to define it right now. Set window minimized request. Yep. Bool is minimized, const return m. Oof, there we go. And add this guy up here. Oh, where does this go? Here, I guess, yeah. WM API set window minimize request. Starting to have a lot of Windows Server APIs here, I can tell. They just kind of grow organically. Okay, so now we have a set window minimize request that we send in and we receive it. And we're gonna need the Windows Server client connection to have a handle request overload. It takes one of these and actually does something with it. So it'll be very similar to set active window request. It's just going to be set window minimize request. See here, instead of setting minimize to false, we are going to do request that is minimized. Quite straightforward. Okay. Wow, did I do everything correctly? Who knows? So when we click on this button here, oh, okay, well, let's actually see what we messed up first. Set window minimize request. What did I forget? When we create this, we also have to pass the minimized flag from the client message. Okay, that was easy. Right, so how does this work? When we click the menu, which now pops up, we click minimize, then we find the window list entry for this window in the taskbar, and then compose a set window minimized message with minimize true, and then send that to the server. And then the server will sort of asynchronously handle that, and it will also asynchronously notify us, us meaning the taskbar. It will notify the taskbar that that window has changed state to minimized, so that it's reflected in the taskbar interface. But all of that should just happen automatically. So let's see, minimize. It doesn't work. Why don't you work? Well, let's see how far it gets. Event loop. So we're receiving the message, posting one of these. Client, I am not handling it here, right? I'm not calling handle request. I only added the overload. I wish this would have a code generator. Okay, let's try again. Plop. And you have to click it to bring it back here. So maybe we should have on a minimize thing. How will that work? Maybe we should call it restore if it is minimized. Okay, taskbar button. Minimize. Let's add that as a separate action right now. We'll call it unminimize, and we don't need the printout. And let's make a little helper for this, maybe. Static void set window minimized, post set window minimized. Set window minimized state. Yeah, that's good. Because it would be silly to repeat ourselves that much. Okay, then we can just do set window minimize state. M identifier false and true. Minimize, unminimize. Cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna be happy with minimize and unminimize for this patch. And then I'm gonna work on close and other stuff separately, but I'm trying to keep these videos kind of reasonable length. But yeah, so let's commit this. Oh, we got a lot of stuff. So let's add the taskbar button stuff and then see what we have. Okay, so we are adding the taskbar button to the makefile. Here's the taskbar button class with the little helper for setting the window minimize state, in which we take a window identifier, find that window in the window list, and then why do we need to find it in the window list? I think maybe we don't even need to do that. Yeah, I don't know what I needed that for. I guess it was back when I thought that the window would do this. I don't need that. Okay. Okay, start over. So setting the state, that's when we create the message, set window minimized, we pass along that flag. Okay, and then taskbar button constructor takes the identifier, caches it away, creates a menu that is then the menu that we use for the popping up. I guess we could make this menu lazily. Actually, that might be a little bit nicer. So let's build this menu lazily. Ensure menu. Okay, and then here we would just do ensure menu. Remove that text. Put fix menu here. And G menu. Taskbar button, ensure menu. If menu, then do all of this pleasant stuff and then return it. Okay, cool. Let's just see that it all built. Yeah, it built. Okay. And let's add a diff again. Okay. So here, now, we build that thing lazily instead of every time we create a new taskbar entry. That's slightly nicer if opening a window doesn't cause us to instantiate a menu immediately. Okay, that's fine. And then the taskbar button class, just a simple G button subclass that holds an identifier and reacts to the context menu event. And the context menu event just pops up the menu at the screen relative rect anchored to the bottom. Okay. Now in taskbar window, we make sure we pass along the identifier to create button. It's fine. And of course, window list now is singleton, which I guess we didn't actually need to do here, but whatever. I'm just gonna leave that in because I don't mind at all. I think that's probably going to be useful eventually. Okay, so here in create button, we now create a taskbar button subclass, FG button, and then some of those singleton changes. Same here, and then passing this to create button. Here's the singleton. Okay, and then here we pass the identifier to create button, and window identifier was moved out to a separate class. Singleton stuff, aid function header declaration thingy. Okay, so here's the Gmenu pop-up anchoring stuff. So when we pop up, we just pass along the top anchored bool in the Windows Server client message. That's cool. We pop up, we have the new top anchored argument default of true. And here we are adding the set window minimize client message, and we need a boolean in the WM part of the client message union. And likewise here we have the top anchor stuff in the menu part of the client message union. Fine. And in the Windows Server, when we handle the pop-up menu request, we now pass along the top anchored flag to WS menu pop-up. That's good. Okay, here's the handle request implementation for set window minimize request, which is just mostly boilerplate, and what it actually does is just call window.setMinimized with the request minimized flag. Okay, and this is where we dispatch the right handle request overload. Here's the WS API client request helper object for the minimization request, blah, blah, blah. Adding the top anchored flag to the pop-up menu request. Okay, was there anything interesting here? Adding the boolean when we create pop-up menu request. Sure, and then here when we get the window minimized API request, then we create the right object for that. Okay, and then here in Windows Server menu pop-up, we actually do something with top anchored. We check if it's top anchored, then we just put the window at the position specified. And if it's not top anchored, meaning it's bottom anchored, we move the window to the correct position, which is calculated here based on the height of the menu window. Okay. And oh yeah, here was this fixing the Z ordering of menus versus taskbar because it was all whack. Okay, and then yeah, and then this is so stupid that it defines separately the front to back and back to front order, even though they should be the same. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. So actually, yeah, let's just commit it. Windows Server plus Taskbar. Start adding add Taskbar window button pop-up. This patch only hooks up the minimize and unminimize actions. Yeah, cool. Let's push it. And let's see it one more time. Oh. Could not reopen file? What the heck? Is Kirima running? I have no idea what's going on. Let's just build it again. But yeah, so I think I'm pretty happy with this thing. I'm of course going to keep working on it, but offline. And we're going to look at it one more time, but if you have made it this far in the video, then I can take this opportunity right now to thank you for watching. And I really appreciate that you guys keep coming back and checking these things out, because it's fun to work on this, and it's even more fun to have someone tagging along for the experience. So thank you, sincerely. Okay, let's have a look. Plop, 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 plop. Very, very cool. All right. Yeah, so that's it for today. Thank you and see you next time.